there's a good chance you're dealing with a middleman, like me, when you get your medicines. That's because PBMs and insurers are often the same company. We even own big chain pharmacies and are buying your doctor's office. We decide what medicines you can get, where you get them, and how much you pay. It's a win-win. For me.
When middlemen own it all, you lose. Visit phrma.org/middlemen to learn more. Paid for by Pharma.
Spring savings are in the air and at Ross, where they have savings on all the brands you love. From the latest fashion to outdoor decor and even pet supplies, savings are in every aisle. Go to Ross and save 20 to 60% off other retailers' prices on your favorite spring finds.
This is Optimal Work Daily. How to quickly blow past the top 1 to 3% of your industry by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com. The more successful a person becomes, the more distractions there are, the harder it is to remain focused on their core objectives. We're now living in what Harvard Business Review calls the gig economy, where you're essentially working for yourself as a specialist or collaborator with multiple companies or multiple projects. In the gig economy, you want to be what Kevin Harrington calls a key person of influence, which means you're well known in the field and get access to all the best gigs. The challenge with getting access to all the best gigs is that opportunities can be distractions. When you start to become successful, tons of opportunities pop up, and it can be very difficult not to chase pretty pennies or other people's definitions of success, whether that be making more money, having more influence, etc. Success begets success. When you develop a certain position and skill level, you can get results a lot faster and easier than you initially could. You've also undergone several quantum leaps in your psychology, allowing you less fear and apprehension about failing and trying new things. Because you've succeeded regularly in the past, you expect to continue to succeed, which can create an overconfidence where you pursue things that you have little skill or ability in. You also lack a firm enough why to truly create mastery, but are often seeking faster and faster wins. Sustaining the dopamine highs of winning can confuse people. Need for achievement. According to psychological research, most people who are highly driven have what's called a high need for achievement. If these people value something, they go after it with relentlessness. If you value money, fame, influence, or looking good, you'll probably get it. If you value family or faith, you'll probably thrive at those things. Whatever you value, you'll do whatever you can to achieve in that area. The challenge is, when you become more successful, you can easily come to value vaguer and vaguer notions of success and forget the core reasons that got you excited in the first place. On top of that, developing mastery at something or getting to a position where results become easy can be mind-numbing. Human beings adapt very quickly to their situation. Often, when a person becomes successful, they get lazy because the results can come easily. They've got the money, the confidence, connections, skills, and resources to replicate the results that used to take faith, ingenuity, and resourcefulness. When choices start to falter. The challenge with becoming successful is that you can become apathetic and bored with where you're at, which can dull the razor's edge needed to be hungry, humble, and striving. You can begin justifying staying up later, throwing away your solid routines, not setting yourself up for success the next day, planning less, going through the motions more, seeking more forms of entertainment. Personality and identity are both shaped by decisions, as is confidence. Consequently, if a person who has been successful in the past begins making less quality decisions consistently, their confidence will subtly drop, even if subconsciously. They may not even see it happening because the changes will be so minor day to day. Also, they probably won't discern their inevitable plummet because they'll be, quote-unquote, succeeding in visual areas. Yet internally, they're falling apart. Author Molly Bloom calls this the obsession to seek increasingly unsustainable dopamine hits. This is why you can quickly blow past the best. Wherever you currently are, you can blow past the best of the best in your industry, the 1%. Why? Because they're dealing with everything I've just detailed. People change over time. People get bored. They lose track of what they want and why. They need new frontiers and challenges. They get distracted by shiny objects. They get distracted by all the noise and other forms of perceived success, and they stop polishing their craft. In basketball terms, they stop practicing their layups and free throws. You may not notice a drop in their performance over the first year or two, but eventually it catches up, and it catches up very fast when it does. I've witnessed this in some of the people I once admired. those people who sit atop my field when it comes to influence and mastery. I've watched some of my favorite authors and thinkers completely lose focus on what they were about and start playing it safe in the content they produced. I could tell they started getting lost and numbed and confused by everything going on around them. They stopped pushing themselves. They stopped making increasingly better and better decisions. At some point, they became satisfied enough with their results that they allowed goal-defeating behavior to creep in, and it began to creep in consistently enough to erode their confidence. Here's how to crush it in the gig economy. According to the research cited in the Harvard Business Review article referenced earlier, here's how to thrive in the gig economy. Keeping a schedule, following a to-do list, beginning the day with the most challenging and creative work, optimizing for sleep, meditation, nutrition, and exercise. I can attest to this. The best way to succeed in an economy where you're rewarded by the quality of your results and thinking, not by the amount of time you work, is by optimizing your time and energy. You need to do your best work when you work best. This means you must make hard decisions. You have to miss certain things that the masses won't be willing to miss, like staying up late on your favorite mind-numbing distraction. You'll need to optimize your evenings for sleep and recovery. You'll need to wake up recovered, get clarity, and produce your best work before the day takes over. If you continually push yourself to expand and grow, you'll get better and better opportunities. All the best gigs will come your way. You should absolutely take those. They'll continue to push you further in your growth and creativity. You should collaborate with your mentors and heroes, but you also need to continue producing at the same volume and quality of your own work. This is the tricky part. When you start growing your platform, influence, and business, you still need to maintain the mindset of that scrappy creative while grappling with the success you're achieving. While everyone else in the top 1 to 3% are getting fatter and lazier, you're getting leaner and remaining just as humble and disciplined as you were when you first started. You're still connecting and collaborating. You're still expanding your network and business skills. But you will never forget about why you're really doing this. You absolutely do have a need for achievement, and you know which direction you want to point it toward. You're not going to allow yourself to get lost in other people's perceptions of success, no matter how lucrative, sexy, or easy. You're going to stay your course and achieve your mission, and this is what's going to separate you from the rest. This is how you're going to blow past the legends. At some point, they lose their hunger and drive. At some point, they started pursuing first place in the wrong finish lines. They stopped pushing their creative boundaries. They stopped learning as much and became comfortable with the level of expertise they had. They become more scattered in their thinking and priorities, which is almost impossible not to do, because the more successful you become, the more complex your work and life becomes. Yet you can remain clear as things become complex by remaining true to what achievements matter most to you, and by continually pushing your creative boundaries, by continually producing on your own while you're growing a business or collaborating with others. You've got this. You can blow past the elite. Just don't lose yourself on the way up. Keep doing what you're doing. Maintain that same level of discipline and productivity. Keep producing. Keep creating. Stick with your process. It's killing it. Listen to your body. Listen to your soul. You just listened to the post titled How to Quickly Blow Past the Top 1 to 3% of Your Industry by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com.
As a contractor, I don't pay for materials I don't use. So why would I pay for stuff I don't need in my mobile plan? That's why the new MyBiz plan from Verizon Business is so perfect. Now I can choose exactly what I want, and I only pay for what I need.
Right now, with MyBiz plan, get our best price, as low as $25 a line. Visit Verizon.com/business to get started today. Price per month with 5+ lines. Includes autopay and paper-free billing and special intro offer discounts. Taxes, fees, economic adjustment charge, and terms apply. Offers end June 10th, 2025.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase of 16 weeks, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
And thank you to Benjamin. He is an organizational psychologist and the best-selling author of Willpower Doesn't Work and Personality Isn't Permanent. His blogs have been read by over 100 million people and are featured on Harvard Business Review, New York Times, Forbes, Fortune, CNBC, and many others. He's also a regular contributor to Inc., as well as Psychology Today. And from 2015 to 2018, he was the #1 writer in the world on Medium.com. He and his wife Lauren adopted 3 children through the foster system in February 2018, and 1 month later, Lauren became pregnant with twins who were born in December of that same year. They now live in Orlando, and you can come by benjaminhardy.com to learn more, and thanks so much to Benjamin for letting us share his work. But that should do it for today. Hope you have a great one, and I'll be back here tomorrow reading to you, and that is where your optimal life awaits.